Hey everybody, welcome back. It is Monday, and that means it is time for the GGRated.net live show. I'm your host, the Iceman, and joining me as always is the Hydra. Hydra. How are you doing, my man?
Battle cruisers, battle cruisers, battle cruisers. Hello, everyone. Yeah,
Uh,
I'm sorry. I was just way too focused on the new battle cruisers.
yeah, and I'm too focused on my own nickname here, but also joining us back from his illness is Sebastian. How are you doing, my friend?
Boom, boom. TLO sniping Nadas Marines up there on the ramp. I'm doing fine. I'm happy to be back on the show.
Awesome. Great to have you back, man. I'm really looking forward to what you have to say on today's show with all the great TSL 3 recap we're going to go through. But yeah, I'm glad you're finally back. We had a good week last week without you with Chobo Pion, who filled in nicely, but it's good to have you back and have the original team here.
Indeed, and I know Chobo Pion is a super dude, and I hope he will come back on the show in the future if someone of us are away, or if we need a fourth guy, which I think we should have in the future. I think we need guests on this show.
I agree, definitely. And speaking of guests, I know that we're currently working on getting more people to join us on the show. So as we're growing, as we're getting more stable in what we're doing here and getting more familiar with the process of things, you guys can definitely count on us bringing you some insider interviews and hopefully some special guests on the show in the future.
Yeah, I'm hoping for us to just have some very interesting guests soon enough. And the Chobo Pion did very well on the previous live show. I mean, he backed us a lot. He has a lot of knowledge from the game. He also is a Brood War veteran, so to speak. He followed the scene for a long, long time. So there's a lot of insight to what he says, and his opinion is, I think it's quite worthy. It's something that it deserves to be listened to, and he should give more. People should give more attention to him. As you guys know, he also wrote the Starcraft Bible. He's been around for a long time. He does his show with JP. So yeah, one of the well-known members of the community, and thanks to them to help us out on that show.
Yeah, definitely. And yeah, check his work out. His StarCraft Center is pretty interesting stuff, and it's a daily show. So I mean, it's quite a bit of work to be committed to something like that.
Yeah, yeah.
Indeed.
Anyways,
Okay, so
you guys want to jump right in here to our first topic?
go for
Let's.
it.
All right. First thing we have at hand that we're going to cover is the GSTL. This was the second season of the GSTL. Interesting results. GSTL shaping up again to be quite action-packed, filled with suspense, and down to the wire, just like last season what turned out to be. This season proved nothing short of what we had seen previously. What do you guys think?
Yeah.
Well, let me just say that we have a big surprise, obviously, Slayers. They've just been working their way up on the GSTL and did brilliantly, in my modest opinion. They actually had some very massive, big opponents until they got their spot on the finals. I mean, they clashed against OGS and also, let me see who else. They got... was it IM as well? Let me just take a look at the brackets. I'm just checking it here.
IM was
There it is,
playing
Slayers.
Slayers in the very
Yeah,
last.
Slayers and Startail, yeah, and then they had IM in the finals. So massive opponents there, plenty of the top gamers, and as you guys know, Slayers is just for now a work in progress, but they actually gave a big shout out there by taking the final victory on this event and showed us that they actually have some powerhouses and probably players with a lot of potential that we're still not aware of, but soon enough we're going to start hearing more of them on the GSL, I would say.
Definitely.
So
You want to look at the matches real quick, Hydra, and
Yeah.
you can just
Yeah,
give us a
yeah,
little bit of a rundown all the way up, leading up to the finals.
Yeah, so this was on the early stages, the clash between the Slayers team from Slayers Boxer and OGS team. And as you can see, we had MC just dominating there on the final stretch of this matchup. It was a really close 4-3 with Slayers taking the final victory. And an interesting thing was that player from Slayers MMA, was a superstar the whole event. And he was actually picked up by his coach to work as a sniper against MC. So what I mean by this is I'm assuming that they practice a lot of the similar builds that MC prepares on his normal games. And they just decided to train MMA in such a way that he would be so accustomed, so used to that kind of setup, that kind of build that is MC Sniper. And what you know, it worked on the final matchup. It was MC, the GSL champion, facing MMA, and MMA just destroyed him. So pretty impressive from MMA, and this is only the beginning because he did really well on the following matchups. Also, we had, as you can see, MC took 2 victories here. We had Ryung doing very well for Slayers as well. But I think that the main event was that final matchup, MC versus MMA, and MMA just took the final victory there. And, well, it's a sign that we're going to have a player for the GSL. I would say Code S material.
Yeah, definitely. He was one of those players that just came through in the nick of time and was just clutch the whole way through. It was quite impressive, in my opinion.
Yeah, and I actually I found it really interesting to actually have those strategies to snipe players. Just awesome. I think just the coaches and put it a lot of effort and focused a lot on the event to actually prepare strategies such as this one. And well, it worked on this situation. Sorry, go ahead, Sebastian. I'm sorry.
No, it's just wanted to say that this again reinforces what a difficult game StarCraft is, and that even though MC is probably the most deadliest Protoss out there, if not the deadliest player out there, he can still be beaten. Throw enough punches at him and eventually also he will go down. No one is untouchable in StarCraft, even if you're the very best of the best. And Slayers, being of course captained by the Emperor himself, together they're just this brain machine who can churn out supreme strategies. As we saw, they may not have the strongest roster, but together as a force they are more ingenious than any other team, probably. And that's just great to see. StarCraft 2 allows people to be really smart.
Yeah.
I just have a quick question, Hydra, that I just want to get something cleared up for myself. I noticed that Sella, who was part of the Wera clan, he was actually fulfilling the coaching position for Slayers. Am I correct?
Yeah, he was.
Is not MMA? MMA is the coach for Slayers, and Sella is actually one of the players. And
No,
they just, or did I get that
team,
messed up?
On that team composition, from what I checked, was well, you had Slayers Boxer there as the representative for the team and the organizer of that team, but then he had the Slayer Sella as his captain on that, at least on that event.
Oh, okay.
As far as I know, MMA is also something there. He probably coaches players or helps out, but he's just for now a player as any other. And I also think that having Slayer Sella, which everyone knows it's Salawera, as the captain, it's also kind of a PR maneuver, because Salawera is really well known in the community. He's also one of the major contacts that the foreign community has with the Korean pro scene, because he's been streaming for a long time. Everyone knows the guy. So actually have him as captain on his team, who's going to try to attract a lot of the foreigners to try to root for them and see, oh my God, Sal is there. How awesome is that?
Yeah,
and
exactly. That's exactly what I was thinking, because I remember, I watched his live stream like religiously when he was on Wera Clan, and he's like one of the funniest dudes. I mean, holy check, and he's always entertaining the fans and the viewers. So I was happy to see him there. I would actually like to get to see him play a little bit more, but it was good to see him nonetheless.
I would say he's kind of in a transition phase, because I know he tried to get qualified in the past for the GSLs. He went on the offline pre-qualifiers and all of that. And maybe he's on a transition phase. For now, apparently, I would say he has a bit of a PR, a public relations role there. And also, he knows the game inside out. He's quite an experienced player, so he can probably share a lot of his experience with the new players from Team Slayers, because, Slayers team is one of the most recent teams in Korea, has a lot of players just evolving and growing, and Cell is probably backing them up, along with Boxer, obviously. So yeah, it was a really nice setup. And also, you guys noticed the end result. We're going to talk about that later on. because Slayers took the final victory. Cello was the captain on the World Championship on the team event. But we'll talk about that later onwards.
Right.
Go for it.
Let's move on to the next matchup we have here. We had Prime versus Startail. And Startail Rainbow nearly got his all kill. Almost. But
and the funny thing is, the funny thing is that he got kicked out by Maka, and Maka just failed qualifying for Code A. He's not even Code A anymore. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I believe this was the the last match where he was going to get the battle cruisers, and he was trying to do a little bit of a showboating maneuver there.
Yeah.
But Maka somehow, I mean, miraculous, nothing short of miraculous, was able to hold down and dig out the win, but couldn't make a comeback, and
was a
felt curious.
fairly long game. It was a fairly long game that I recall it took a while, and basically Rainbow decided that he was ahead enough to pull out some battle cruisers and just crush Maka. Good old style bashing, and well, things didn't work as expected.
Cruiser operational.
Yeah, I think he should have tried. I think he should have tried the exact same thing, but like a week later, he would have won
with the patch.
Exactly. But yeah, anyway, as you can see, we just had Rainbow dominating this series here and taking the win. Kind of clear win, I would say, 4-1. Curious for you just finished off, but I mean that game against Maka, the final one, wasn't the major show, the main event on this matchup. It was basically Rainbow almost getting that all kill, something that is not very easy to achieve. And as you guys know, they've been keeping tabs on that and actually showing who holds the record, who are the players that actually got an all kill. So it's kind of an achievement, you know, like you had on some online games. So I think that some players will be trying to get that achievement in the future.
Definitely. Anything you want to add, Sebastian?
No, I just think it's nice, I suppose is the word I like to use, that Maka, who was so famous during the beta and who, you know, I don't know if he did it, but at least the community did it for him. He baptized the build that is the Maka racks, that when you hide a barracks outside of your base in order to confuse your opponent, well, simply that. And I think people will continue doing that thing throughout Starcraft 2. That's what he's famous for. It's nice to see that he's still in the game, because he's not Code S anymore, and I just like seeing Maka around, and seeing Startail move on. That just warms my heart, because that means July is still in there somewhere.
Definitely. All right, let's go for the next set of matches here. Next up, we have I Am Incredible Miracle facing TSL. And I am basically dominating this series 4-1. MVP, another almost all kill, but getting knocked out at the fourth match by Trickster. And then Lasira comes in to clean it up.
Yeah, I Am team is so solid. I'm not even sure what else to say. Again, a clear win, 4-1, and MVP. What is he even doing on Code A? I'm not sure, but he just dominated those matchups. Notice that he played against very solid players. You have Killer there, Sung Ho. You have Fruit Dealer, who has been kind of unstable. We all know that. I mean, he started big on GSL 1, but then from then on, he's been just sliding down that slope and actually not showing as many of those creative and aggressive play styles that he used on the early stages of StarCraft 2. And then we had Trickster just owning MVP, taking him off when he was almost getting the all kill. But I mean, the IM team is so rich, their group is so solid that to replace MVP, they still had Lozira, they had Nesty if they wanted to. So there was a lot of solid players to face against Trickster. And basically Trickster, who is Tester, SSKS, Sakisu, as you guys know, he did his thing. I mean, he eliminated MVP, and as we all know, Trickster has been struggling a bit to actually show himself on top of his game on the GSL. I mean, I'm still waiting to see him on one of the finals or semifinals would be nice. And he's one of the veterans, one of the most respected Protoss players playing in Korea. And he actually took MVP here, so yeah, a good result for him. But still then Lozira just came and crushed him. And with a clear win for 4-1 for IM, just made IM went through grabbing clinching the spot on the finals to face against Slayers.
Mm-hmm. And let's look at the other semifinals matchup we
Yeah.
had. We had Slayers versus Team Startail, and another pretty one-sided victory, I would say. MMA coming in here, doing his mixed martial arts, beating up a Startail team.
Yeah.
Poor
Word.
July Zerg, poor Squirtle. I mean, just getting bashed
but
around by MMA here.
I think I'm not sure what his name stands for, but makes sense to be mixed martial arts. I mean, it's kind of popular now. It's a big thing for a lot of people, and maybe he's just a big fan. I don't know. But what I do know is that he's been showing his skill, and on this GSTL, if anyone had any doubts about his level, well, I think at least personally, I got completely cleared of any doubt, and I think his code S material. He was very, very well on this GSTL. As you guys know, occasionally, already happened on the previous GSTL, you have some surprise players that you're not used to actually see playing on the highest tournament scene, on the highest profiled matchups. And MMA is probably one of those Terrans that soon enough will be able to get a spot on Codas and start showing off his skill, because he just was on fire on this GSTL. Every time he got into that booth, he was meant to start sniping people back and forth, left and right, and well, basically it works. So I guess that Boxer and Celoera trained him really well for this event. Also, as you can see, July started taking the win over Frozen, but then MMA sniped him and took Squirtle and Curious, and then another big player, this time from Startail, Bomber, another player that I would like to hear and see more on the GSLs in the future, dominated MMA, and Ryung took the final victory for Slayers 4-2. A bit closer than the other 4-1 victories, obviously, but still a big sign that Slayers had what it takes, had a lot of really top-notch material on their ranks, and MMA was the big show here on this matchup. He almost got an all kill once again. We got several almost got the all kills, but these players didn't actually got the achievement, so I guess they have to try another day on another event.
Thank you. Come again. All right.
Yeah, but well played.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, just saying, well played by Slayers. Again, it shows how a team composition is a wholly different thing than having a bunch of star players in the same uniform sitting next to each other. Reiterating my last point. Moving on.
Definitely. Cogent point indeed. Thank you, Sebastian. Let us move on. Let us move on to the finals here. This was... I did not see this coming, I'll say that. I did not even expect Slayers to make it past OGS, but here we are nonetheless. IM versus Slayers in a remarkable series, I would say. This was back and forth. We saw a lot of big names come up, a lot of big names go down. I'll let you take it away, Hydra.
Well, for me, as you guys can see on the brackets, the surprises was, well, the biggest one was OGS. I didn't give enough credit to Slayers on this matchup, on this event, and they just surprised me a lot, but in the best way possible. And they actually showed how good they are. I mean, they were able to put up against several of the biggest teams in Korea, and they just kept sniping players, having the right matchups there, picking the correct players to face against those opponents, and ended up on the finals. Was it a surprise for me? Yes, it was a surprise for me. I have to admit it. I think I recall saying something about the predictions of the GSTL on one of the previous GGRateds, and I'm pretty sure I said that I wasn't expecting much from Slayers, so I was totally and absolutely wrong, and Slayers deserved every little bit of those wins and the final victory and the prize money, because they played very, very solid there. It was just impressive.
Very impressive. I gave them very little credit in the beginning of the GSTL, and I'm gonna have to eat some humble pie here because they achieved.
Okay. Jonathan, do me a favor. Just check the stream, because I think it went down. Take a look. Just make sure, like 10 seconds.
Okay. Just why don't you keep talking about the
awesomeness that was the GSTL.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It just says it's still broadcasting, by the way, but...
Yeah. Okay, I was just making sure because I'm having a hard time loading it on this side. I was just making sure that people were actually listening and enjoying the show. But
Oh,
like I was saying, I mean, well deserved. What can I say? Also, I would love to actually have a video camera on the Slayer's house on that previous week, the week previous to the event, just to see how they prepared, what's the level of influence that Slayer's Boxer has on them, and Slayer Sella obviously as well. For whoever watched the show and watched the games live or on VODs, you could notice that Slayer's Boxer, is it his wife, right? Was there all the time. I recall seeing her. I recall her supporting the players from Slayers. I mean, it feels like there's a familiar environment there, like people feel comfortable being with Slayers, and the guy is very experienced, has a lot of experience in the game, and on Broodor, obviously, he was one of the biggest legends. And I think he's just able to transmit all of that so easily to the players, and the players just emulate all of that and reveal themselves on this GSTL. I'm only hoping for the better things to come on the future GSLs from the Slayers team.
definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, they have a tutorship in Slayer's Boxer and Sella. I mean, we shouldn't overemphasize Boxer as an individual, but we shouldn't underestimate it either. There is more than just how to own at StarCraft. It's how to do it, yes, with style, but also as a business mechanic. I mean, Boxer himself is a PR machine for Razer peripherals. There is a global business perspective here, and they know that winning and winning well is what brings in money. And they, unlike many other teams, I think have a much wider grasp and ambition when it comes to what they want their brand to be, that is Slayers. They need to win and they need to do it well, and they show that whilst they don't have MVP or MC on their roster, together they can still win victories. I think we'll see team battles matter more and more in StarCraft 2. We finally have the infrastructure for it, and of course the World Championships, which we'll be talking about shortly, as well as some other things we'll be hinting at, shows that it's beyond the individuals that's going to be really epic. It's when individuals come together in the shape of teams, when we see StarCraft 2 truly come alive. And Slayer's Boxer, he knows what that's all about. He created SK Telecom 1 in Brood War. That was the best team they ever had.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm so glad to have you back, Sebastian. You're so scholarly.
If anything, I am a scholar.
I would just like to make a short mention. You guys are taking a look at the VODs, the short clips we made from all the matches from the finals, the last series. And as you can see, we had a lot of close matchups, but there was very interesting, at least my favorite couple of matchups on this finals were the ones related to the MVP. On one of them, he used battle cruisers, and keep in mind this is after the patch. And well, the battle cruisers are just awesome. It's all I have to say. I keep in mind that I'm not saying this in any way to mention it as imbalanced. Oh my God, no. They look really nice and they actually are useful now. They appear to be another tool for Terrans to benefit from. And I'm pretty sure it's going to show up here on these small clips, on these short clips soon enough. A moment where MVP just gets some battle cruisers and starts blasting Yamato cannons into Vikings, and was just a big sight to see. You could see the battle cruisers were fast enough to micro, go back and forth and avoid the shots, and actually approach the Vikings fast enough to Yamato cannon them and pull back. So pretty awesome, and congrats to all Terran players. They have a new tool, I would say, and a pretty good one. I think it's going to be something new on the end game, on the late game for all Terran players.
Yeah, definitely.
And huge shout outs to Blizzard for realizing that, hey, we need to pimp this tool. We needed to make it sexier for people to look at and use, and make it more versatile for skilled players as well. They are rebooting and finessing their product, and it's good for us all.
Yeah. The level of commitment and support they're showing is just positive to see things go in this direction. It just further emphasizes how well StarCraft 2 is going to do in the future.
Yes.
And here we go with the
Notice-
clip with the battle cruisers.
Yeah, notice the amount. Now, check them out going for the Yamato cannon on all of those Vikings. Just huge blasts of boom. Oh my god. And look at the amount of battle cruisers that MVP did. I mean, just merciless there. It was awesome to watch all of those battle cruisers. Now they're fast enough to be properly microed. It's not like you pull your army back and the battle cruisers just slow crawl their way back, and well, basically they start getting picked off by Vikings and other units. Now they actually can be used properly and fly around shooting stuff. So much respect. I think it was an interesting change there. I mean, I could see more obvious changes, such as increasing their firepower or something like that. But actually, the speed increase
I like the
worked
speed.
pretty well. Yeah, and it will require from the players to work more on their micro, take care of their battle cruisers, because now they know that it's feasible to micro them and to approach certain angles. And I think that's going to work out for Terran players, and they're going to be more used in the future. So yeah, pretty cool. As you
And
can see,
here we see
final
MMA
victory
came
here.
in there and just mopped things up.
Yeah.
Yep.
This
Cleaned
is
up MVP.
And by the way, guys, how awesome is the map dual site, by the way? I haven't played it myself, but I just love the looks of it.
I love the looks. It looks awesome.
yeah. I've been trying and practicing with the casting tools. I have a couple of issues with the casting tools. Not a big deal. It's just personal preferences. But I'm assuming that in the future, Blizzard will take care of that. I think the bars for the APM and all of that are just huge, much too big, and block the screen and clog everything. But I'm assuming that soon enough we're going to have Blizzard taking care of that, maybe allowing us to place them in the screen wherever we want, or resizing them would be nice. The rest, yeah, they look good. It's like for a first attempt to get some casting tools in the game, it was a nice attempt, and I need to thank Blizzard for it. I'm just hoping for more evolutions of it to refine it in the future.
Definitely.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you about that, Hydra. The new casting tools, yes, there are many features, some good, some less good. So, but what I really miss and what I enjoy with like the GSL and the TSL is that third-party software enables casters there to show predominantly the names and colors of the players, so that you don't need to remember in a Terran versus Terran who is who, because that's not always obvious if you don't have the info displayed. And now there's an inbuilt feature for that. I'm getting into casting myself next month, I hope. So just want to ask you, now that it's so easy, do you use that, and do you like it? Do you think it works well? I mean, the way that they are displaying the names now for each player.
I like it. I think it's a work in progress. I think it will get better with time, maybe in future patches. I'm going to give you just a couple of very simple examples. I would like to change the names by myself. On the, they have the bars with the names now showing up with nice, smooth animations, really stylish, but would like to have it just... If let's imagine this, I casted a game a couple of days ago where we had OGSMC facing against Cloud, the Italian player. And basically, I couldn't change the name from OGSMC, and he was playing on an account saying OGS. So what popped up on the screen is saying OGS. I would like to add the MC. Something that I'm pretty sure you're going to see in the future. Another thing I'd like to see is smaller bars, so I can use them. Like, I would like to have really tiny bars with the APM under the players' names. Would be awesome, for example. But something that I'm pretty sure Blizzard will take care of in the future. If they need any kind of counseling on that, any kind of consulting, just call me. I'll gladly help. Okay, let's move onwards.
Let's wrap the
Good to know.
GSTL up here as we see Slayer's team celebrating, getting their check, getting their trophy, and
Slayer's boxer struggling with the champagne, but yeah, he got it.
All right. What's next, guys?
I believe next we should move on to the GSL World Championships. Recently, we had a bunch of players selected from around the world. We went over this a little bit last week, and this week we had the brackets finally fleshed out for the foreigners that would be playing against the Koreans. And on screen, you guys can see we have the brackets here. The brackets so far are as follows. We have Huck playing MVP, July Zerg facing Nada. We have Sen facing White Ra, Daimaga versus Nesty, Marine King Prime versus Sen. Oh, whoops. I think I said Sen earlier. It's not Sen. We have Moonglade versus TT1, MC versus Morrow, and Jinro versus Any Pro.
Sebastian, you want to try this one? Want to open for us?
Sure.
Yeah.
I mean, again, as I've been going on about already, it's when we put things in a team context that it gets really epic. And when it gets international, that's just extra lovely stuff on an already amazing hamburger of epicness. So, Huck versus MVP. That's sort of the GSL Code S we would have hoped to happen naturally. Now we'll see that go down. And considering what's been going on in the Team Liquid Star League, which we'll get into later, this is really exciting. It's East versus West both in Korea. It's very exciting. July versus Nod. I think we've seen that in the GSL already, but we all love for it to happen again. Dimaga, Nesty, that's truly two opposite sides of Zergs clashing. Nesty will take it, but then again, Dimaga is the beast from the east, the powerhouse like none other. White Raw, I think, will take down San. The Grandpa Toss, he's got what it takes. Other than that, I mean, MC
It's
versus
Protoss
Morrow.
Protoss, so I mean,
Yeah,
that's a
okay,
little
it's
bit of worry
volatile.
there,
It's
but
volatile.
Yeah.
But what I'm really excited about is MC versus Morrow. Morrow, of course, being a countryman of mine, and MC being the Kratos Protoss, the most destructible son of Ire ever seen, whereas Morrow is a Swedish guy with odd hair, yet very good at playing Zerg. I think that will be the highlight for me.
Well, for me, as you guys can see, and Sebastian was just mentioning that, you're going to have that Sun against White Ra and the Maga versus Nesty. That little bit of the brackets there are going to be really volatile, really random. Well, it isn't random. Obviously, the players have plans and they plan ahead and prepare everything. But you guys know what I mean. It's ZVZ and PvP, so we're going to end up having some quirky situations, I'm sure of it. I'm hoping for some interesting matchups there, especially now on the ZVZ, because we have Infestors buffed, and the Infestors might be having a big role, something that we don't have in ZVZ for a long time.
Yeah,
They're
that would
still
be
quite
cool.
From what I've been checking on these games after the patch, I mean, the Infestors are still quite squishy, like fragile, but the effect that they have now, it's really, really good, really strong and solid. And probably going to have Demaga or Nesty going for it, or both of them. Who knows? What I do know is that that will make a different ZVZ from what we're used to watch, and probably it's going to go much, much way ahead from the standard Zergling, Baneling, Zergling exploding on each other's faces and carapaces. Well, White-Ra versus Sana, I'm not sure. I do know that it's two different schools of Protoss playing. They never met up. I think they never clashed before. And I always love to see Europeans or North Americans facing against the Korean pros, the top gamers, because sometimes they provide us with some surprises and actually show us that North Americans and Europeans do have some solid players. And, well, we might be providing here an upset for the Koreans. I would like that personally. Obviously, I want to see Huck versus MVP. We're going to have the epicness of July versus Nada. I can't get tired of it. I can have like 1,000 Julys versus Nada. I'm just hoping for July to go for more classic Baneling busts and stuff like that. And maybe we can see a bit of his Soren Zerg that he was able to develop during his Brood War days.
Indeed.
And the rest of the games, I mean, it's all epic games. Morrow versus MC, it's going to be awesome. Not sure to which point Morrow is ready to face against MC. I do know that Morrow is quite good playing against Zerg, but might be a bit too hard. I do know that they're not in Korea for a long time. Jet lag might be an issue, but it's something they have to deal with. I mean, they're pro gamers. If they want to be on the mech of Starcraft 2, they have to suck it up and deal with it. But yeah, this is going to be awesome, and it's starting tomorrow. Another thing I would like to mention to everyone listening to this and watching the live show now is that this World Championships, are free on gomtv.net. You guys don't need to pay for any ticket. You just sit down and watch it on high quality, the big quality stream, and enjoy it on the following days. So based on that, just I don't know, just root for your favorite players and boost up and back up the Europeans and North Americans trying their luck against the Korean pros. For me, my modest opinion is that I was dreaming about seeing White and Demaga in Korea for a long time now, and finally I have that dream came true. So hopefully they're going to be doing good. They do have some massive opponents, but I guess they have what it takes.
For me, I'm actually kind of a Huck fan, I guess, so I'm going to be looking forward to Huck versus MVP, and I definitely agree with you, Hydra. After we got a taste of July Zerg versus Nada, I just want more. I want to see more madness.
Yeah,
And
no doubt.
Sen versus Marine King Prime, I think, should be pretty interesting as well.
Now, for us to take a look and get a glimpse or at least an idea of what might happen now in the future based on these brackets, maybe you could take a look at the results from today's team event. This World Championships opened with a team event. I know it was like relaxed, have fun, but still there was things at stake, and I'm pretty sure the players don't like to lose. And basically the results were these ones that you can see here with the World All-Stars taking the victory there, 4-2 against Team Korea. Pretty impressive. I'm pretty sure that a lot of people might say that Team Korea wasn't the best. They had a lot better players. Also keep in mind that the players that got in first to represent their team might not have been the best ones. I mean, there were better players there, but maybe they were just keep them on the back to be used as secret weapons, and things didn't work as expected for the Korean team. And basically, we had the world team, the World All-Stars, dominating this matchup. Surprise for me, I know that Sen is good. Sen is one of the legends, one of the most well-recognized players from the back on the days of Brood War that isn't a Korean. But TT1 surprised me in the best way possible. I mean, I already seen TT1 playing, is good. He did pretty well on the North American scene, but I wasn't expecting him to just sit down, crush San, and defeat Nada. I mean, I'm pretty sure that even TT1 is going to take pictures with Nada and talk about it with his grandsons when he's like 90, saying that one day he beat Nada. So, yeah, but much respect for TT1. He played well.
Definitely. I remember him doing well in MLG when he was facing, I believe he made it all the way to the finals against Jinro, if I remember correctly, a while ago. But he's done very well in the North American scene, and I think this is definitely a great confidence booster for TT1. Even though maybe it was just some friendly matches for fun here, still proving his worth here. And Sen, of course, like you said, big strong player from before, but I want to see more of him. I want to see the Marine King versus Sen series. I'm going to be interested for that.
Yeah.
Sebastian, you have anything else to add? No?
No, I think you guys have covered it all. I have plenty of things to say, but on a slightly different topic.
Yeah.
Okay, we're going to let you to it soon enough. So yeah, basically this team event is just like an appetizer. It's just for us to have a glimpse of what might happen tomorrow. Also a sign that players like TT1, keep in mind that it was the first time they sat on the GSL studios inside of those booths to play, and sometimes it's a bit awkward and the players don't feel perfectly comfortable, and that might show on their game. But yeah, he was fine, handled it just well, and well, good for TT1 on that occasion. And obviously Sen, I'm not mentioning Sen that much, but probably because I recognize Sen and I recognize the name and his background from Brood War, and that's basically why I'm not mentioning it that much. Okay, moving on.
Moving on, we have some news from DreamHack. DreamHack Stockholm is going to be coming up here soon, and I'm not sure if you guys can see on the stream or not, but we have 7 of the 8 spots filled already, and there is a mysterious 8th spot awaiting its announcement for who will be playing. And I believe Sebastian has a little bit of a hint he can drop here, a little bit he wants to tell us about DreamHack, because I know he's might possibly be working with some people who have influential positions for this event. So we'll toss it over to you, Sebastian.
Yeah, go for it.
Well, thank you guys. As you can see here on the screen, this will be an invitational event hosted by the DreamHack organization. who, as you all know, I'm sure, hosts 2 events every year: DreamHack Winter and Summer. Winter is the bigger one. There were almost 12,000 people who brought their own computers to the event. Last winter, I was there, and then Day 9 was there doing the casting, half of Team Liquid, as well as OGS Top and Inca, and of course plenty of pro gamers from Europe and from further as well. And that was a very good event. I think first prize pool was $14,000, etc. Yada yada yada.
Yeah.
DreamHack
Yeah.
is it's pretty big. It's one of the bigger things globally. At least it has always been that way. And I mean, it's a corporate institution. They want to be the best at what they do, and that is bringing top level esports as well as bring your own computer events to people. Now they're hosting this invitational event in Stockholm on April 12th, and I do not believe that. It has been officially announced yet. We can see that Jinro, MC, Idra, Huck, Whiteraw, Morrow, and of course the little one are attending. They will be there in person. And of course, the little one, people have been hearing on Facebook, etc., has been showing a lot of interest for Sweden lately. He was actually here last week. And things are happening. I've been alluding to something that will take place, well, pretty much shortly after this event. There should be an official announcement, and that will be remarkable. But that's not what I'm going to drop hints about right here, because as you see, the 8th spot is unfilled. Now, there will be an 8th invitee coming to this event, and I have been told from sources that I have sworn to continue keeping this a secret, that this will be a royal occasion. And friends, I'm forbidden to tell you who is going to be there, but I can tell you that it could not be more epic.
Wow.
Ooh.
That's
What can that mean?
That's a tease right there, but I guess we'll just have to wait for the official announcement. But
A royal event.
Yeah, the
Okay.
royal event, I
Well,
guess.
esports is growing global and international, and some individuals and their teams have a better grasp of this than others.
Well, I can only imagine if it's a royal event. I can only imagine Prince William and Kate Middleton. I'm assuming they're going to play both or one of them. It's going to be cool. I would like to see them getting bashed by some of the pro gamers. Yeah, would be
Well,
fun.
we all know Prince William plays Protoss.
Yeah. But yeah, it's a nice tease, and royal might make us just wonder because I don't know, there's not that much royalty around Starcraft 2, but there's still some. So
There
we
is.
have several options there to consider.
Yeah.
And
But not that many.
yeah, but taking a look at that composition there, the group of players, I mean, it's going to be huge. Not the longest tournament ever, obviously, because the number of players, it's only 8 of them, but they might provide us with some awesome matchups. And with a bit of luck, we might be seeing some best out of 5s there and just stretching the tournament a little bit more, like there's not that many players, so just have them playing longer sessions, longer series, so we can enjoy more of the matchups might be an idea. But yeah, I mean, you have huge players there, and MC's there, the GSL champion. What can I say? It's going to be awesome to see him facing against the top Europeans and North Americans as well. There's Idra and Hux there.
Yeah, it's going to be clash of quite a bunch of heavyweights in this new DreamHack coming up here in April the 12th. So, thanks, Sebastian, for that little bit of a tease, a little bit of a hints dropped, but nothing solid yet. But so we'll keep looking forward to what lies in the future.
Yeah, we're gonna keep torturing him after the show. Maybe we'll get something out of him. We just squeeze him out.
Yeah, don't come to my door. I don't want any of the DreamHack authorities coming to look me up after we figure out what's going on here. But
so what's next?
Next, I think we are going to move on to what everybody is waiting for, the meat of today's show, and I am talking none other than the TSL 3
Ooh.
Ooh.
Ooh, my
Ooh,
God.
round
Is
of
there an Idra
32.
picture there? Oh, there it is. Oh my God, it's him with a lot of other people. No, no, no. This one it is. This is Nasty with Goody. Okay, okay. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
This
Go
is day
ahead.
3.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, folks, if you didn't watch the TSL 3, the second weekend, match day 3 and match day 4 of the round of 32, I highly recommend that you shut this podcast off, pause it, whatever you're doing, go watch the VODs because we're about to drop all the spoilers, and you do not want to miss the epic action that was TSL 3 from this past weekend.
And if you have missed it, what's wrong with you?
Yeah, what are you even listening to this show for? I mean, whatever.
Yeah, everyone still has the chance of going on the Team Liquid YouTube channel. They've been uploading all the VODs there. I mean, if you miss any of the games, just sit down, take like half an hour or something, and watch some of the matchups because the TSL has been huge, just tremendous. Had some epic matchups and a lot of upsets, at least based on what we assumed it would be the quality of the Koreans. And well, maybe we had some discrepancies there. Not sure if all of them are related with lag issues and technical issues, or if we just actually have some really, really solid European and North American players, which might be the case.
Yeah, I think we do have some solid players, but last week we termed the TSL quite a few upsets. It was a tournament of the upsets last week. This week, I think Day 9 said it best, the Korean curse, because it seems like everybody who had their feet in Korea for a period of time was knocked out of the tournament. Let's just get right into the matches because I honestly cannot wait anymore. Let's go for it. First match here we have the Frenchman, Adele Scott, beating MVP. Surprise, surprise. I don't think anybody saw this coming. I remember back a few episodes ago when we were giving predictions, gave Adele Scott quite a bit of credit. I said he was a good player. But we all came to the conclusion that MVP was going to take this, no doubt. And look where we are now. Adele Scott basically manhandling MVP. I mean, complete domination. This was one-sided victory, and it was a thing of beauty to watch. What do you guys think? Sebastian, I'll let you take it first since I know you're dying to get in some words on the TSL 3.
Yes, as I've been hyping the TSL for months now, mainly for the benefit of those who were not a part of the Brood War scene, who might not have realized that another tournament that ends with letters SL is worth caring about. Team Liquid, when they do organize things, they do it better than anyone else. And this is, as we all knew, the best online held tournament in StarCraft 2 we've ever had. And we'll get into the issue of the ping, which is, of course, part of the Korean curse. But before we do that, Adele Scott versus MVP, I was as surprised as anybody else. And it made me feel that in Brood War, Mutalisk Micro, when you used a bug, actually, in order to trap 11 Mutalisks into one control group so that they behaved as one, that was like a Korean trick that no non-Korean ever could really master. And now I feel that Protoss Blink Micro is more and more taking on the shape of precisely that. Adele Scott, he used, it was a crazy game, the last one. I don't know if we have a clip of it or not, but
No.
he just showed us that you can make so much happen with Supreme Micro. And the Blink Stalker, it's just such a powerful scalpel in the hands of a capable surgeon if used correctly. MVP was schooled. Now, I don't know why, but Adele Scott did it, and he showed us that the global divide that was the case in Brood War well, it's not a definite anymore. It can be done. There is the issue of ping. We need to talk about that, guys. So I'll hand it over to you, Hydra. Adele Scott versus MVP, and also ping. Was that the issue?
Well, as you might imagine, we might have some technical issues here. I'm assuming that the players might have some troubles playing from Korea, but if I'm not mistaken, the rule on the TSL, and you guys correct me if I'm wrong, is you play on the North American servers unless both players agree to play on a different server. So what happens here is you're going to have mostly basically most of the games played on the North American server, and the Korean lags, the European lags as well. Do they lag the same? I don't know. I mean, it depends on your internet connection, your hardware. There's a lot of technical stuff involved. What I do know is that these guys are all pros. They play this for a living, and they have to deal with it. Like I was saying a bit before, I mean, quit the whining, suck it up, and do your best. And if you don't want to play because of the lag, just say it so before you enter the tournament. Like, I'm not going to play because there's too much lag. The moment that you accept the spot, you're there to play, just handle it the best you can. I know that it might make a difference, but it's part of being a professional. Like someone plays injured on some other real life sport, you know? Just you need to handle it and try doing your best. And on this situation, Adele Scott was the best player. Obviously, a surprise. I recognize Adele Scott. I followed his matches in the past, and he is a very solid Protoss player. Probably the most well-recognized player from France currently in StarCraft 2. And, well, he just showed MVP that there's a lot of potential outside of Korea. This might ramify into another debate that we should have on another day, which is that it feels like, at least on this moment, it feels like StarCraft 2 is a lot more international than Brood War was on the competitive
Indeed.
scene. Okay? But that's another matter. We're not going to discuss it now. What I do know is that Adele Scott won. It wasn't a fluke. He did the right thing. He was playing solid and had the final result. He took the victory out of MVP hands. I'm pretty sure that MVP has a couple of lessons to learn from that. And I'm also sure he kept those replays and he's going to watch them again and again and again.
Yeah.
And if I may add another point, I wonder if the Koreans, being full of their years-old hybris perhaps, did not prepare. They thought this would be a walkover, as it was on BlizzCon and numerous other events, that we don't need to practice against round ice. We can just take a day off and win the way we always do. And they were proven wrong, because the non-Koreans, they had practiced their asses off, and it showed. Could that have been the case?
Showed.
What do you think?
I completely agree with you. I mean, you can just see the mindset that everybody seemed to have, that the Koreans were going to come in here and just sweep this competition. If you read through the articles or the interviews that were posted, everybody was saying the Koreans are just such a high caliber players. They're going to come in here, they're going to dominate, they're going to destroy everybody. It's going to be like primarily Koreans in the finals. And I mean, look what we have here. Just complete non-Korean I don't want to say upsets, because that shows that I would be favoring the Koreans, but I mean, people were obviously considering MVP to be one of the greatest in the world right now. And then Adele Scott comes in here and to just handle this so precisely and exquisitely the way he did, and to see this trend continue from other players throughout the rest of the matches, it was something that was, in my opinion, what made this tournament so enjoyable. I mean, people don't want to see something that's predictable, you know. They want to see something that's going to shock them a little bit.
Let me just add a short...
does just that.
Yep.
Let me just add a short comment based on what I was saying about the lag and all of that. I would like to maybe rephrase it to mention that I didn't see any Korean players complaining about lag or anything like that. I was just trying to do a bit of mind reading, wondering what they were thinking while they were playing. But being a professional at this level, I'm pretty sure they're able to deal with it and just try to play their best. Obviously, I'm not saying they're unprofessional in any way or that they whined or complained. I'm just saying that at this level, if you're a pro gamer, you really need to suck it up and try to do your best with the tools that you have at the moment. If it's a bit of lag, well, you try to play with a bit of lag. If not, just don't go on the online tournaments, the international ones, because that will be something that it will be present basically every time, I'm assuming.
Yeah, I saw no complaints about the lag either, so I'm pretty sure people were taking it with a bit of understanding that this is an international tournament, and everybody has quite a high level of respect for the Team Liquid tournaments. So, I mean, there's just only so much you can do about it. But let's move on to the next match before we get wrapped up in this match too much. Next match, we have MVP Genius facing against the American QXC, and finally, QXC gets to show everybody just how QXC plays. I mean, QXC has been struggling a little bit, maybe as of late. A completely solid player, and I mean, here we see him just working his magic against Genius, and perhaps again maybe another upset. Probably a lot of people were picking Genius to defeat QXC, but QXC had other plans here. Great harassment on multiple fronts with the use of medevac drops, and a well-deserved win once again for QXC, in my opinion. What's your thoughts on this, Sebastian?
Well, I'm a huge QXC fanboy. As I mentioned previously on the show, I've interviewed him many times. The first time when he had just popped up on the scene as a sort of junior trainee to In Control. That's about exactly a year ago. Now he is a formidable member of the international elite. He did not do too well at the Intel Extreme Masters a couple of weeks ago, which was a disappointment to everybody. I interviewed him again just prior to that. And now he shows us that he indeed got the minerals and that he is a kick-ass Terran. MVP genius. He's a bit arrogant, he's a bit cocky, but he's a very good Protoss. Didn't he win BlizzCon? I mean, that's a formidable foe in QXC. He took him down in 3 very memorable matches, and I just love seeing things go to the third game on Terminus Re, and yeah. It was epic. I'm so happy for my boy QXC.
Yeah, definitely. Hats off to QXC. Anything you want to say about this matchup, Hydra, before we move on to the next one?
Just congrats to QXC, and I can't forget that Genius is just going down fast. I don't know, I recall on the early stages of Starcraft 2, he was one of the finest Protoss playing, and he had the swagger and the trash talk to back it up. He was kind of a cocky guy. But now his cockiness, well, he can still be cocky if he wants, but he doesn't have the play skill to back it up, which is something that OGSMC has, for example. And, well, it's good for QXC. I can only wonder how far he can get, because he already stated that he's trying to finish his studies, trying to finish university to start taking StarCraft 2 seriously. I can only imagine when he has 24/7 to commit to the game, because he is quite a good Terran. He just needs more practice and more time.
Definitely. Well, congrats to QXC, and let's move on to our third match here.
Yeah.
We have the Zerg powerhouse from Korea, and I'm talking about Nesty, facing off against the mech tank general, I guess, Goody, and once again we see another Korean falling. Goody, just resilient use of mech play, and he just earned the win again. I mean, third Korean in a row that we see get knocked out of the tournament this weekend. What do you guys think?
I think the last game was one of the better ones I've seen in a long while, and I could not think that it was Nesty playing. Not that he was playing badly, but simply that a European Terran could do such a thing to a former GSL champion. How he just dismantled his attacks and then went for a counter attack when then Nesty did the same, and suddenly Nesty had 3 roaches and Goody had a fully working expansion and a mech army marching towards his northern expansion. Oh, it was glorious.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I would just like to add just a couple of comments, simple stuff. First of all, I have a personal private nickname for Goody, which is Marathon Terran. He likes those 1-hour games. He didn't do any 1-hour games on this situation. He actually played very solid. He was able to counter Nesty. He still was able to enforce his mech gaming, his mech playstyle that he enjoys a lot. We do know that siege tanks just chew through several of the Zerg units, basically just from the top of my head, some Zerglings and roaches burning. It's a common image on my mind, on my nightmares.
Banelings going splat.
Yeah, or sending like 50 Banelings, and when they actually get to the Marines, there's only 5. The other 45 got exploded by the siege tank. So yeah. But anyway, I mean, it was well deserved by Goody. Nesty wasn't on par on this situation, on this event. I do know that Nesty is worth a lot more than what he showed here, but it's also a sign that Goody was good enough to cut him down, to hold him back and refrain him to just go all out bonkers. And, well, basically Goody took the win and was a well-deserved one without going for any marathon matchup, which is something that I appreciate.
Mm-hmm.
1-hour games with Terran with 50 siege tanks, just not my favorite thing.
But if you get to see it against Zerg, then it's quite remarkable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In either case, well done, Goody.
Yeah. And I just wonder what Fox Moon is saying now. I remember he had a Koreans own white dudes statement, but looks like it's a little bit of a different story now.
It does, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's move on to the fourth day in the round of 32. Next match, we have a couple of bad boys. Grudge match here. I'm talking about Rhett. I'm talking about Naniwa. And quite a good series, but we see Naniwa advancing. I actually thought Rhett was going to make it out of here alive, but
Yeah.
once again, the Korean curse comes back, and Naniwa gets the victory.
Despite his ADHD.
Yeah. Well,
Or
just
because of it.
Just a short comment here. As you guys know, there was kind of a bit of a quarrel between these two players, something from the past. I'm just going to make a small, brief summary. I'm not sure if all of you guys know Naniwa. Naniwa had troubles in the past in his life, private stuff, as far as I recall. He never opened him. He never showed a lot of it. Obviously, it's his private life. He doesn't show much, but he has some anger management issues to deal with. I think it's better now. It's much better. He was a lot worse in the past. I recall him making some comments that he left his home and had a lot of problems with his family, so might be related with that. And it shows on the matchups, on the games. Now, actually, Naniwa seems to be a bit more stable, but I mean, he's been hopping and skipping through teams in Europe like a mental freak, a madman. Apparently now he's stable in Dignitas, and I think he might have a little bit of a quarrel with the Liquid Rat from the past. Maybe they trash talk each other in the past. They had a bit of a skirmish there, but it didn't show on this matchup. It didn't. At least they didn't made any kind of BM or rude comments. Just games flowed, and Naniwa took the win. Rat wasn't solid enough. He wasn't able to handle the pressure, and Naniwa deserved that win.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Alrighty. Let's move on to the next match. Here we have... I'm already laughing before we get into this, but we have EG
this was
Idra
just
versus
fantastic.
Oh my god.
Complexity Cruncher.
Run it now.
This, we have quite a bit of stuff to talk about. Leading up to this match, we had Idra commenting in an interview just how he was going to roll over Cruncher, no big deal, not even going to phase him. First game, Cruncher takes it. I got a little bit worried then. I was already a little bit worried because Idra, it seems the more he talks, the more he tends to falter. And I mean, this series, I guess we'll just we'll get into what happened a little bit later. But Cruncher playing a solid game throughout the entire series, wins the first game. Goes back to Terminus Re for the second game. Idra comes in with some crazy micro, doing Hydralisk drops out of Overlords on basically every part of the map where Cruncher was trying to get an expansion. And then last match, it moved into Crevasse, and this is where the hilarity broke out.
And did it break out?
Yeah, exactly. Cruncher kept building up his expansion, or I mean, not his expansion, excuse me. He kept building up his base, and it looked like he was going to go for maybe an early 4-gate, but then he started hesitating and delaying, and then it looked like he was going to go for an expansion, and it actually turned out to be a 6-gate all-in push. And Idra, being Idra as he is, goes for the macro style, droned up just a little bit too heavy, and Cruncher rolled in there, proxy gated, and I mean, just destruction. And
there was I'm sorry,
but
let me just add this.
That's not the glory of it.
Yeah, I have a clip here. I have a clip here to show the actual glory.
There were people commenting that the moment Idra was looking at the push incoming to his base, he decided to make 6 drones.
Yeah.
Here we go. Look at it. Look at it.
Okay, this is from game 1. Notice this brilliant force field play. Notice this. Notice how squeezed those roaches are going to get. Look at that.
I've never seen that before.
Look at all the roaches squeezed in the middle. Huge force field donut, more force fields on top, and
That's
just a
5
pile of
roaches.
roaches. Yeah.
Yeah, this is game 3 actually, by the way.
Oh, I'm sorry. My bad. Anyway, yeah.
This is the
as
final moment.
Yeah, just if you didn't watch, pay attention, guys, because this is where
Yeah,
the lulls comes.
basically he lost a lot there on that brilliant force field play because he had a lot of roaches condensed on a really tiny spot and they all got shot down and most of his forces got hit there. Then he tried to recover, tried to get some eggs hatch fast to get some roaches out, but it wasn't fast enough. And now notice their cruncher taking his time to throw a smiley face, and
Smiley
Idra
face.
just leaves the game.
Ooh,
So yeah,
poke.
yeah, Idra wasn't happy.
Yeah, that was basically a big burn. Idra talking smack the entire time. Before the match started, he had already said that that he was gonna destroy Cruncher, and here we have Cruncher actually taking the victory and just poking a little bit. I would say a lot of it at Idra. I mean,
And Cruncher knew it.
yeah,
Cruncher
exactly.
Oh, yeah.
I can only imagine the rage on Idra's side. I'll be surprised if Idra's monitor is still in one solid piece.
Let's hope Idra does not have a pet.
Yeah.
Let me just add a couple
there
of
it goes
comments
again.
here. I'm gonna just add a couple of background comments here for you guys to
One
realize.
second, Hydra. Do you mind if I get something up on the screen real quick?
Yeah. Go for it. Go.
As I was watching this match, I was paying attention to Twitter, and the Gun Run actually retweeted an image, and I'm gonna put that on screen for everybody to see. But
I'm pretty sure most people didn't see this image and they're not
yeah,
aware of it.
I'm pretty sure most people haven't seen this, but
Yeah.
it was in between one of the matches, and this is a screenshot taken from Cruncher's point of view. And if you can read it on the screen, it says Idra's talking to him, mocking him, trying to get in his head a little bit. He says, "You're quite talented."
Yeah, he says,
Indeed.
"You're pretty talented." I'm not sure if you guys can read it, maybe if you get it full screen, but basically he was trying to play mind games with Cruncher. And as you can see, this screenshot is taken from Cruncher's side, and you had the referees just getting into the group so they can start the matchup, and Idra was basically throwing him a bit of a Jedi mind trick. I don't know if I can call it trash talk, but yeah, he was trying to just intimidate him a little bit so he could break him in the game. And well, basically Cruncher didn't break, and he ended up breaking Idra instead. But this is an image that I'm pretty sure is still not available, or at least I haven't found it on Team Liquid. And now with a bit of luck, someone will take a screenshot of this and start spamming it on TL. It's going to be awesome.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Otherwise, the GG-rated Twitter account will retweet it.
Yeah, I should probably get on that and tweet that ASAP. But yeah, I was lucky to just grab this off Twitter when I did. But I mean, for all the smack talk Idra did, to not come through and to not perform like this, I don't know. That's, in my opinion, that's a bit of a letdown for how solid he claims to be and how bad he talks about all the other players and how easy he says he's going to roll through them. I mean, this is a high-profile tournament we have here, and he obviously had plenty of time to practice for this match. And then, I mean, the smack talking is just, I love this. This is so awesome.
Yeah, and as I said prior to the cast starting in the lobby with you two guys, Iceman and Hydra, I'm not a big fan of Greg because it has been shown now that when StarCraft 2 has been out for a while that he is probably the very best average player we got, which equals to being the world's tallest midget. It is not remarkable anymore to be Greg Idra Fields. He's not championship material in the same way that MC or Jinro is, perhaps, right? And he also, and that's the more important thing, he has like anti-personality. He's the bad boy. He says bad stuff about people. That's not good enough. You have to be the bad boy with style. You have to be like a villain. Idra is just a sad nerd who whines and can't take a loss. That's not sexy. That's not business. Idra, you're going down.
Well, my opinion differs a little bit. I do agree. I understand what Sebastian is saying, but I do like Hydra. I think he's a good player, but if he wants to be a bad boy, he needs to back it up with skill. Like, if you want to be this bad and you want to just trash talk everyone and just claim that they all suck, they all have flaws, I own, okay, it's fine. It's a character that you assume for the game, might be a part of your personality. I'm fine with it. That's not an issue. Just back it up with game, with results. If you don't back it up with game, people will start saying that you're a loudmouth and not a good enough player. And that's what I'm fearing, because I recall Hydra being quite good. I remember as well that we made a comment, and I was commenting on something that I saw this afternoon on the internet on some forum. I don't even remember which one was it, but someone was commenting because of this game that that person had an opinion that Hydra now, there's a lot of good players starting to grow and show up on the community and on the tournament scene, and they're all on a fairly close level to Hydra. So Hydra is starting to fade out because all of those guys, they're actually pretty nice guys, or at least they apparently are nice guys. And Hydra is just losing on the personality side, and because it doesn't back it up with the results, is just basically fading away on the tournament scene. I'm hoping for that not to happen. I'm not a hater at all. I like his playstyle. I like to watch his games, but yeah, his attitude sometimes is not the best one and should be polished, or you could go for extremes, like be the baddest, meanest guy ever, but back it up with results. If not, it won't work.
Results is what matters. You can be a bad boy, but you need to be good.
Yeah, to a certain extent, you have MC. MC has, it's not the same thing, but he has a fairly similar style. He tries to be a bad boy and intimidate and say he's going to crush everything, but then he actually crushes everything. So okay, we just go for it and say, yeah, the guy is good. Yeah, it's fine. It even makes me have a laugh. If Hydra can put up that, I'm going to have a laugh with him and going to love his matches as well.
Definitely. And big shout out and thanks here to Cena92 from the live stream chat. Just informed us of another trash talk image that was shown. Now we have Idris saying, "Boy, it must suck when skill matters." So
yeah,
can't get enough of this.
Yeah, just a lot of mind games going on those breaks between the matchups. And I guess that Cruncher was just on the ball and taking screenshots of everything, as it was him that shared these screenshots with someone, and it just got viral on the internet, and now we have it on our hands, I guess.
Yeah. Well, anyways, that was a great series. I'm glad that we saw some good emotion out of that series, and I'm looking forward to see how that develops in the future. I'm interested to hear what Idra has to say about that. If he shows his face on State of the Game podcast, I'm sure we'll hear a little bit of something with that, because yeah, definitely a big key point in this tournament. Anyways, let's move on to the next match here. We have Hey Pro versus Empire Cos. And good series, back and forth. Came down to the third match, and unfortunately, once again, we see Korean curse. I mean, Hey Pro was in Korea for a little bit, and seems like it just got to him a little bit as Cos pulled out the wind at the end there. What are your thoughts on this, Hydra?
Well, I would actually like to see Hey Pro taking the win there. Don't have anything against Kaz, as you might imagine. He's another Ukrainian solid player. But I don't know. I remember Hey Pro winning Dreamhacks back in the days from Brood War, and I wanted to see him back up on top of his game again, and I'm keep waiting, and still it didn't happen. And on this situation, Kaz just trampled him. Well, it wasn't trampled. It was actually fairly close and had some really interesting matchups. Honestly, I was hoping for to be able to have some kind of reasoning with the maps or something like that, but the maps were fine. I mean, Crevasse is cool, Shakura's as well. Crossfire, well, at least my personal opinion, is not that friendly for Zerg. especially facing Terran. But April just handled it just fine, did his job. But on that final matchup in Shakura's, he wasn't up to what Kaz had for him, and Kaz took the win. I'm still waiting for April, and I think he has what it takes. I'm not sure exactly what happens with him. I'm not sure if he's just a lot of raw talent just growing out of the on trees or coming out of the floor, and everyone is just going over April. But I do know he is a good player, and I would like to see him just owning some nerds and taking some victories in Korea, especially. But yeah, here on TSL would be nice as well.
Any thoughts, Sebastian?
Well, I'm a huge Pro fan, and I feel he's not getting the glory that his actual skill warrants. Empire Cars, I mean, I know his name, but I'm not familiar with his styles as much. I think I've hardly watched any of his games. Well done. Sad for Pro, but I watched the games earlier today, and Cass was the better player. Pro made some bad decisions, did not play badly, but Cass managed to really abuse the terrain on Shakura's, those hallways on the north side. And Pro crumbled. Well done, Cass. Sad to see you go, Pro, again.
Yeah. In game 2, I was actually I was thinking it was going to be over in game 2 when Pro had his back against the wall there for a while, but he did very well to regather his units and rearm himself and move back out and force the game 3. I'm disappointed that he lost in game 3, but I know we'll see more of him, and I'm sure he will get his glory in the spotlight very well deservedly soon enough in the future, I would say.
Yes, let's hope so.
All right, let's move on to our next match. One of my favorite matches of the series so far. I'm talking about Mondragon versus Zrax, and Mondi is back, baby. Mondi is back. We have not seen hardly anything from this guy, but he's been in a bunker in Germany somewhere, practicing with a direct hardline to any server of his choice, and he has just been pounding away. This guy is resilient, to say the least. Zrax, I'm going to give him plenty of credit because he came hard and heavy with plenty of Protoss air pressure. And just in match 1 alone, I have a clip from this, but I thought it was going to be over early on when he was bringing all the Phoenix and the Void Ray. And he just had relentless pressure in the beginning, but Mondragon kept his composure, had a cool head, and was able to just take bases and produce roaches, which is a surprising choice, but he just moved in there and rolled right over Zrax.
Yeah. Adding a bit of background once more. I do like to add background for some reason, but
background is awesome, man. That's
for whoever doesn't know who Mondragon is, the guy was a legend outside of Korea back in the days of Brood War, and he's well known. I'm pretty sure now he played really well on this match, as I think he's gonna start showing up more on the tournament scene, and I'm pretty sure that everyone will see what I'm gonna state now, which is when he gets interviewed, it's always like this: "Oh, you're gonna face Zrax. What do you think about that matchup for you?" His talk is always the same. He's just, "Oh my God, I don't know. It's really complicated. I don't think I can win that. No, it's going to be very difficult for me. No, he's really strong. I don't think I can do it." So basically, he places himself on the underdog position on every single game, and then he owns the guy. That happened back in the days of Brood War, and basically it's happening now because he was interviewed before the TSL, and he said the same thing. He said, "No, Zrax really solid. I don't think I can take the victory for him. I'm going to try my best, but I don't think so." And then he came here and just destroyed Zrax and move on. So I guess it's just a mental thing on his side, and getting himself into that underdog position might boost his confidence or something, or maybe relieve the pressure that he has on his shoulders, so no one will expect any results from him, and then he just dominates the game. With a bit of luck, we're going to see more of that on Starcraft 2, because he did that a lot of times on Starcraft 1 on Brood War.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, Mondragon is a truly legitimate bowler. he owned Templars of Twilight, the clan TOT, for years and years. And I mean, he was not an active player for much of the time. He took breaks, had a life, etc. But he has the same thing that TLO seems to possess to such a high degree, an affinity for the game, a profound, intuitive understanding for how it works. So then he gets back into practice. And I mean, the reason he's in the TSL 3 is that he almost won the TSL 2 back in Brood War and got an automatic invite. But that did not stop him from acquiring StarCraft 2 skills. If I'm not mistaken, this is the first time Mondragon officially plays StarCraft 2 at pro gamer level. We haven't officially seen his skills before.
Yeah.
And here he shows us that he is the Mondragon we know and love. And in the final game, which maybe you got a clip of, I don't know, Iceman.
I actually don't, sorry.
Yeah, well, there was this small opportunity when his scouting circling was on Shakura's plateau, managed to find a little hole that the Protoss had put up there. So he could actually tear down the pylon and run in with 2 circlings, and from there on it just spiraled out of control for Serax. Mondragon he's not a surgeon, he's a magician with scalpels. He can make things happen, and it's so great to see him in StarCraft 2.
I agree.
Yeah.
He was able to supply block him when he busted down that one pylon. I mean, Xerax played well. It's not like he didn't play well, but I mean, Mondragon's composure was phenomenal. And this is what we're here for. I mean, we want to see Mondragon show us some magician skills, as you were saying.
It's probably going to be the next powerhouse, showing up his skills to all of us. And like Sebastian was mentioning, he hasn't been showing much on the tournament scene, especially at this level. I think he played on a couple of online tournaments, those weekly ones, which are really good and I love watching, but they don't have the same hype and the same dimension as the TSL. But that's it. And now apparently he's just growing and getting ready. Who knows? Maybe we're going to see more of him soon, because he played really well against Xerax and probably going to have some of his skills getting transferred from Brood War into StarCraft 2.
Definitely. Let us move on
next?
to our next match. We have the big heavyweights here. I'm talking about OGS Nada versus TLO, the little one.
Oh, yeah.
And this was quite an interesting series, and I don't think that TLO in the last match played up to TLO standards. I know he's much more capable of what he showed then, but the first 2 matches were nothing more than classic TLO, busting out some original strategies. The first match, actually, I had just watched the YouTube video online of, I don't remember who he was playing against or who the shoutcaster was, but it was the exact same strategy he used on Xel'Naga Caverns. It was early Ghost Rush, and he was able to put on tons of pressure and get a barracks up and just snipe SCVs and enemy Marines. I can't for the life of me recall who he was playing, but he went for the exact same strategy, and I thought I was watching the same game for a moment, but I think the key difference was he wasn't able to get his bunker up on the low ground, and Nada punished him in game 1. What do you guys...
He also had a bold move there. He went straight into the rich mineral field for his expansion, and just left Nada wandering around his natural expo, wondering, what is this guy doing? Where is all his units? What is he doing? Because there was nothing on the natural expansion, and then he finally ended up finding that rich mineral field, but things didn't work very well for TLO in that situation. Though it was quite a creative opening there and a creative strategy, I guess that Nada was just flexible enough to react and answer back. But yeah, it was an interesting game 1.
Yeah, definitely. Game 2, it was no less interesting, as we saw some battle cruisers enter the field of play, and TLO showed us just why battle cruisers are now a key tool in the Terran arsenal. I'll get the video footage rolling, and I'll let you take it away, Sebastian.
All right. Well, indeed, we get to see the new battle cruisers being featured in full action. And TLO, as I said, has an affinity for the game. He already showed us earlier in this series how he went for Ghost Rush and sniped Nada's Marines. Didn't end up too well, but it was nevertheless epic. Here we see Nada just having realized that TLO is going battle cruises, trying to erect a turret wall to prevent it all from happening. TLO has just taken down Nada's expansion. Here we see 2 of the new battle cruises being deployed, and we're gearing up for what would be the final onslaught. TLO, of course, trying to take out Nada's Vikings, the only real threat, since the Marines will be completely destroyed by TLO's tanks. Again, backed up by battle cruisers, and now here we see the moment of glory approaching. TLO going for a pincer attack here, sniping the Vikings, and the tanks being terribly out of position, being fired upon by the battle cruisers indiscriminately. And here we see Nada unsieging. That's when TLO goes for the kill, stimps his Marines, battle cruisers coming at him, and there's just nothing that the Tornado Terran can do. TLO showing us that he is the Leonardo da Vinci random player from Leipzig in Germany. He can do the impossible, and he knows what new patch changes can make for the game. Over to you, Hydra.
Yeah, well, once again, battle cruisers helped a lot on that situation. And it's also a sign that, once again, I'm going to repeat myself, they will be seeing more use now on the late game for Terrans. They're faster, they can be micro, they can take positions faster, they can back up a ground force. So, at least in my opinion, it's a welcome change for the battle cruisers, because it was one of those units that actually no one used. And like you guys saw on the GSTL, Rainbow tried to use it failed against Maka, failed terribly, and he lost the game. Then a week after the patch, MVP used, oh my god, it's awesome, Yamato cannons blasting away Vikings. And now we have TLO showing us that it works on every server all around the world, as long as the Terran player is willing to use them. So yeah, pretty impressive.
Definitely.
Very impressive.
And quite the commentary there, Sebastian. Is that a little bit of preview of what we're going to get from you later on in the future when you start shoutcasting?
You can count on that, sir.
Awesome. Yeah,
I've actually been practicing in silent offline while watching replays, as if I was broadcasting for hundreds and thousands of nerds. Makes me feel happy about myself.
Awesome.
Okay, what's next now?
Yeah. Next, I believe, since we wrapped up the TSL 3 coverage, I just wanted to let people know that next week we will not be having the TSL 3 shown, since there will be MLG coverage. But the following week, we will be returning to TSL 3, as was stated on the streams by Day9 and DJ Wheat. But do you want to talk a little bit of the development of the esports in Taiwan?
Yeah, let's just make a couple of short, brief references to the other 2 issues that I have here. One is the televised league on Taiwan. It's not the biggest thing ever, but it has some interesting features to it. First of all is all the players on those teams, they all have monthly salaries. Something that, hasn't been showing up till now. As you can see on that VOD from Sen took his time to make a short presentation of the league, telling everyone they're going to play on live TV and on national TV in Taiwan. So it's not only a stream internet thing. And apparently in Taiwan, they take this serious enough to actually get it running on a national TV, paying salaries to players. And though for now they only have those 5 teams and might feel a bit limited, like the environment, the amount of players and the variety of players might be a bit limited, I think this is just the first step for something big. And Starcraft Brood War was fairly big in Taiwan, pretty much because Sen helped a lot. He was the biggest reference, like the #1 player in Taiwan playing Brood War. But as you guys can see on this VOD, I mean, things are getting ready. They have a studio. The players play there every week. They all get paid to play. So it's going the right way. And hopefully we're going to see more of that expanding out of Taiwan. I would like to see something like this in Europe. To me, it wouldn't hurt if I could see some match from StarCraft 2 in Eurosport 3 or something like that. And in the US, you have, for example, ESPN 3 or something, like if just a channel, just somewhere where you can actually sit down and watch this on TV. It would help getting the game bigger and spread the message. Still, quite good news, and I think that Taiwan is just leading the way here.
Yeah, I
Word.
mean, I don't have a problem at all with the expansion of esports, especially not Starcraft 2. So, I mean, in my opinion, this is only good news. And to
Yeah.
see, I mean, Taiwan supporting this on such a high level from the start. I mean, we're talking about uh, televised events here weekly. So, I mean, this is a big jump straight to be showing that kind of support for an esport like this. So,
Yeah.
hopefully, we're going to see development of more players outside of the Korean scene, and hopefully, we're going to see an infusion of just even more international play. I can only see good things coming of this.
Yeah. Also, as you might imagine, it's a feel of security for the pro gamers because they're not actually depending only on their results. Like I have to win to take the money. You know, like I'm gonna have a monthly salary. I can actually pay my bills, and I'm not depending on actually taking the victory on that tournament, or else I'm out of the game and I'm gonna get broke and I need to start working on something else. So the monthly payment is a good thing to get a bit of a safe side for the pro gamers.
Yeah, exactly. So it's good news all around, in my opinion.
Very.
Any thoughts that you have about this, Sebastian?
No, I mean, I'm going on all the time about how the globalization of esports is a good thing and how it's happening, how StarCraft 2 is providing the vehicle for this, and that other things, other games will multiply around it. This is just great news to see. It's showing that other things are coming out of what was always a Korean thing, which other people tried to mimic. Now it's happening in a unique way. I mean, in April soon, this thing that I've been hyping for months will be officially announced. It is not something akin to this exactly, but it's a whole new chapter for esports infrastructure in Europe. And we just see how it, like rings on the water, the enthusiasm is allowing business to develop, and with unique regional twists of it. I will probably be doing live commentary of a small StarCraft 2 event in Lund, southern Sweden, later this summer. I mean, that's just small potatoes, but
Yeah.
we are sort of building things upon what was always
Exactly.
a dream a year ago, and it is happening. Love to see this going down in Taiwan. Can't wait to see what they'll bring out. We need competition.
Exactly.
Okay, so probably now wrapping up with Code A stuff. Just a couple of surprises. We don't have that much information to provide anyway. Though I found today, like 5 minutes before the stream started, I found a VOD made by Doa. So thank you, Doa. He's one of the casters, as you guys know, staying in Korea to provide with more content from the Code A matches. And he took his time to make a 28-minute long VOD that it's now available on YouTube with all the inside stuff that happened on the offline qualifiers on Code A. Now, some surprises. Let me just take a look here because I have the list here. Just a couple of names that failed. They failed qualifying for Code A. Moonglade, Maka Prime, Terrius For You, Celavera, Guinea Pig, Torch, Cezanne. I'm pretty sure you guys recognize these names. Hey Pro failed. He got eliminated on round 3. Seed got eliminated as well. I don't know if most of you guys recall the name Dongregu. It was a while ago. He was the #1 player on the ladder in the whole world. He was over 4,000 points. I think he was the first guy to get there from the Koreans. He tried, got eliminated as well. So there's plenty of big names that basically got set on the side, and they're not gonna even be able to play on the Code A. Then on the qualified ones for Code A, we got Bomber, which is fairly well recognized. Yu-Gi-Oh as well. Squirtle got qualified as well. And then you have a lot of new names. So I think you're going to have a lot of new players showing up. New fresh blood for Code A is always good. I love to see the new guys popping up and actually taking a chance to their glory. And we might find the next Slayers boxer one day. Who knows? But yeah, we have a lot of new names on that list. just mention Bomber and Yu-Gi-Oh! And Squirtle because basically they're the most well-known from the ones that got qualified. Shocking for me, Moonglade, yeah. Maka Prime, I'm not even sure anymore. He's been going down so fast that basically now he's out. And Hey Pro, I'm a bit sad.
Yeah.
This means that he's going to be stuck trying offline pre-qualifiers again soon, next month. And Moonglade, I'm not sure. I mean, it seems like I saw him sitting and watching the GSTL, so I think he's hanging there in Korea. I also read some news about him being now with Team MVP. So he's still a member of Team FX Open, but probably has some kind of agreement there to stay with Team MVP in Korea and practice with them. So I'm hoping for him to show us some nice stuff in the future. But for now, well, he failed. He's not going to even be on Code A, unfortunately.
Yeah. Also disappointment that, like you said, Torch. I mean, the guy's a great player. Yeah. I just hope he gets to get into Code A soon enough. Same with Sella. I would like to see them. So, yeah, it was a little bit disappointing.
Well, it's done. It's done. Never mind. Move on. Next month, better luck, I guess.
Definitely. Just practice hard and look forward to next month. Hopefully they won't give up.
Okay, so done for today?
Yep, I believe that's about all the topics we have for today. Great coverage. Lots of great things to talk about in TSL 3. So I'm going to be disappointed next week when we don't have that. But we'll go over the MLG coverage.
No, don't worry, because we're going to have a million things to talk next week, because you're going to have all the matchups from the World Championships, the GSL. You're going to see all the Europeans and North Americans clashing on 1v1s against the Koreans. It's going to be awesome. I'm just going to make a million VODs out of all of those matchups. It's going to be cool.
Sounds good. We'll have that footage for everybody next week.
Yeah, done.
Yep. Any shout-outs you guys want to make real quick before we wrap this thing up?
Well, I have a short thing, namely that Starcraft 2 is an awesome game, and I love it, and I can't wait to continue bringing new video content to all of you guys. But having said that, sometimes you need a little bit of a break, and I want to give a huge shout out to a guy who deserves this, who provides an alternative RTS fix to the Starcraft 2 experience. Many of you guys are probably filled with contempt when you think of the Dawn of War 2 series that features Warhammer content. Well, this guy, and I'm about to post the link right now, makes it all worthwhile. If you just need a small break from Starcraft but needs a good casting experience, check out Harlequin. He is a super dude and deserves your subscription. So that's all for me. Over to you, Hydra.
For me, I'm more than happy. We did all we had to do. We covered everything today. I'm just eager for the next Monday and get this show on the road once more, because I want to talk about all the World Championships on the GSL. Something tells me that Demaga is going to do awesome, and Grandpa Toss is going to show who's boss. And, well, I'm just going to be rooting for those guys. Yeah, so I think it's going to be a pretty awesome Monday next week as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Most
that's
definitely.
it for me.
All right. I'm just going to read out that URL for the YouTube channel, since maybe whoever listens to the podcast doesn't know, but it's Harlequin Casts. That's youtube.com/HarlequinCasts. And if you guys want to check out... Oh, sorry.
Do check him out.
Yep, check him out, definitely. And if you want to check out some high-quality shoutcasts of many high-profile pro gamers, check out Hydra's channel. That's youtube.com/xhydrax. Also, check out Sebastian's work, even though he has been on a bit of a hiatus. We know he's behind the scenes working hard, and he's going to bring us some quite epic things, as he's alluded to, and I can personally vouch for things that are going to be coming up in the future, since he's talked a little bit about offline, off the show, about what's going on. So check out his stuff, youtube.com/polygonreview, and don't forget to be a stranger. Show us some love. Our Twitter account is twitter.com/GGRated. You can also email us questions or comments to liveshow@ggrated.net. And always, you can check us out on Team Liquid, where all the VODs are posted. Links to the show notes, or links to the MP3s, most importantly, for anybody who misses the live show. But thanks, everybody who did tune in today. We had some awesome interaction. Plenty of chat going on back and forth in the channel. So shout out to all you guys who are participating here, and we will definitely look forward to next week's show. I know I'm already excited and pumped about it, and we're going to keep delivering great content every week, and I think we've been getting a little bit better and better, and hopefully we're just going to reach the pinnacle soon enough, and also look forward to some more interviews and special guests. I know last week we had Chobo Pion, and we already have some things in the works for to get some more special guests on the show to add some more flavor. So thanks a lot, guys, and appreciate your time and tuning in. And Hydra and Sebastian, also thanks to you guys, and GG everyone.
GG. I love that one.